I am always looking for my next five-star read, and May new releases has some really, really good promises in store. So I have seven new releases that I'm going to be sharing today. Let's get into it. My name is Raquel. Welcome and welcome back. So we're going to start with Andre. I'm not sure if it's Andre. I think it's Andre. Andre and Bash are just friends by Tia Williams. I know a lot of people like Tia Williams. I personally have not had such good luck. I've only tried one, which was a love song for Ricky Wild. It started out really good. I don't know. I think maybe it was slow or something. Nothing really happened that made me not finish it. I just didn't. Maybe something more exciting, hit me. I'm not sure. But this one, I don't think so. It's a little too cupcakey for me, a little too sweet, sugary, I guess. And it's kind of like these young teenagers or whatever. Anyway, it says, meet Andre, junior class president, debate team captain, unofficial student therapist, desperately in need of a good time. Meet Bash, mysterious new senior, everybody's crush, tall, floppy, great taste in jewelry, king of having a good time. In the in the last day of school, it's the last day of school at Cheshire Prep, Brooklyn's elite academy, and Andre Mercy Moore life is a mess. Her dad canceled her annual summer visit to his Malibu beach house. Now, she's stuck in a claustrophobic apartment with her mom, dad, and 1 year old baby sister, aka Baby Goblin. Under these conditions, she'll never finish writing her self help book, i.e., the king of winning over Stanford's admissions board. Cut to Bash Henry. Andrew hires him to be her fun consultant. His job to help her complete the experience challenge, her list of 5 wild dares designed to give her juicy book material. She gets inspo, he gets paid, everybody wins. He isn't boyfriend material and she's not looking for one. Can they stay professional despite their obvious connection? So, um, Andre Mercy Moore was in the book 7 Days of June. And so this one now is her story, which I think is pretty cool. But I didn't read the 7 Days in June. Maybe I would have, but the cover just really kind of didn't jump out at me. But I hear it's really, really good. Um, it was the love song for Ricky Wild was on my DNF list. And I may go back, I don't know, but this one just not my cup of tea. Comes out on May 6th for all you Tia Williams lovers. I hope you enjoy. Number 2 is Dark Maestro. Now, this sounds like me. Um, it says, uh, his cello made him his cello made him famous. His father made him a target. Curtis Wilson is a cello prodigy growing up in Southeast DC projects with a drug dealer for a father. But through determination and talent and loving support of his father's girlfriend, Larissa, Curtis claws his way out of his challenging circumstances to rise to unimaginable heights in the classical music world. He even solos with the New York Philharmonic. And then suddenly his life disintegrates. His father, Zippy, turns state evidence implicating his old bosses. Snitch. Now the family, Curtis included, must enter the witness protection program if they want to survive. This means Curtis must give up the very thing he loves most, sharing his extraordinary music with the world. When Zippy's bosses prove too elusive for law enforcement, Curtis, Zippy, and Larissa realize that they only that their only chance of survival is to take on the criminals themselves. They must create new identities and draw on their unique talents, including Curtis's musical ability to go after people who wanted them dead. But will it be enough to save Curtis and his family? So we know that Zippy is a drug dealer, so his talents are probably going to be sales and marketing, maybe a little chemistry. I don't know how that's going to help, but I guess I'll see. And then Curtis, we know he has his cello, so it's going to be his music. Excuse me. But Larissa, it doesn't say much about her, so I'm really interested to see what her talents are going to be. I want to see what kind of new identities they're going to create. And I don't know. I just imagine that, of course, it's going to work out in the end. I don't know that. But just what are they going to do? So this sounds really interesting to me. It has piqued my curiosity. It comes out on May 13th. And number three, which everybody's looking forward to, Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. I myself am looking forward to this. I read book number one. It was okay, but it was good enough to make me read book number two, which I really, really enjoyed. And then book number three, I'm going to be completing the series. I can't believe it. I don't complete series very often. And that's because if book number one isn't really good, I'm not going to go to book number two. And if book number one is good enough to get me to two, but two is still just mediocre, I probably won't go any further. And sometimes I just can't get past book number one. And so a lot of times I won't finish it. But I got one that has two in the series, and I'm already finished with the first one, which is well, we'll talk about that in another video. But it's Aziz and Calman, a what is it? By Miss Je ne sais quoi. I cannot wait. That one was so good. And then so for Can't Get Enough, sorry, off on my own tangent. For Can't Get Enough, it says Hendrick Berries lives a fabulous life. She has phenomenal friends, a loving family, and thriving business that places her in the entertainment industry's rarefield air. I don't know what, maybe rarefield air is the name of the industry or who she works for. I don't know. Your vision board, she's probably living it. Come on, Hendrix. She's a woman with goals, dreams, and ambitions, always striving upwards. And in the midst of everything, she's facing her toughest challenge yet, caring for an ailing parent who has time for romance. From her experience, there's a low ROI on relationships, return on investments, ROI. Anyway, she hasn't met the man who can keep up with her until him. Tech mogul Maverick Bell is a dilemma wrapped in an exquisite tailored suit and knee-melting charm. From their first charged glance at the summer's hottest party, Hendrik feels like she's met her match. Only he can't be. Mav may be the first to make her feel seen and desired, but he's the last one she can have. Forbidden fruit is the juiciest, and this man is off limits if she plans to stay the course she set for herself. But when Maverick gives chase, pursuing her, spoiling her, understanding her, is it time to let herself have something more? This sounds he sees her, he desires her. Yes. Come on, Miss Hendricks. I am looking forward to this. This sounds like uh it just sounds like what we are looking for. Let's see if Maverick really has it. I am definitely looking forward to this one. And it comes out on May 13th, so we don't have to wait too long. Then we have The Garden Wedding by Rosey Lee. So this one is Christian fiction. It's a two-book series. I started The Garden of Eden, which is book one. I didn't finish it. There was no real reason why I didn't finish it. I like it, but this particular Christian fiction book, the I don't know. I'm probably maybe 50% in, and at 50% in, there's no real intensity. Like there's drama, but there's no real intensity. It's just kind of funny. It's lighthearted, and I can appreciate that for Christian fiction. Um, but I think something probably came along and took my attention away. But I do plan to finish The Garden of Eden because I'm definitely wanting to read The Garden Wedding. It says Martha Garden is a mess, and that she is. No one knows this better than the women in her family. Good hearted, but often misguided by distrust and insecurity, Martha is known for stirring up drama. That's why Ruth, Naomi, and Mary are pleasantly surprised when Martha mellows out after she begins dating one of the most eligible bachelors in town. Handsome, well connected, orgy Greenwald is everything Martha hoped to find in a man. And and it's only a matter of time before he pops the question. Rarely caught off guard, Martha is accustomed to getting her way. But when it appears she's finally about to have the life she's always wanted, a crisis in Orgy's family brings out Martha's tendency to try to save the day her way, and the divide deepens between her and Orgy's already indifferent mother. We know mother in laws. Confronted with these unforeseen challenges to her plans, Martha finds herself on a journey that forces her to fully acknowledge her previous mistakes and reconcile her past. But will it be enough to deliver her the future and the love her heart desires? This comes out on May 13th, and I am looking forward to it. I just have to finish The Garden of Eden first. And so then we have The Devil Three Times by Rickey Fayne. And I believe that this is a debut novel for Rickey Fayne. It says, Yutunde awakens aboard a slave ship en route to the United States with the spirit of her dead sister as her only companion. Desperate to survive the hell that awaits her at their destination, Yutunde finds help in an unexpected form, the devil himself. The devil, seeking a way to re enter the pearly gates of heaven, decides to prove himself to an indifferent God by protecting Yutunde and granting her a piece of his supernatural power. In return, Yutunde makes an incredible sacrifice. Their bargaining extends far beyond Yutunde's mortal lifespan. Over the next 175 years, the devil visits Yutunde's descendants in their darkest hour of need. Lucille, a conjure woman, Asa, who passes for white, Louis and Virgil, who risks becoming a 20th century Cain and Abel, Cassandra, who speaks to the dead, James, who struggles to make sense of the past while fighting to keep his family together, and many others. The devil offers each of them his own version of salvation, all the while wondering, can he save himself? Steeped in the spiritual traditions of oral history of the Black diaspora, The Devil Three Times is a baptism of fire and water, heralding a new voice in American fiction. This book this book gives me When the Reckoning Comes. And not that I know, really what this book is about except for what we just read, but whenever I think about like something that I can think in my head that might be scary, it reminds me of When the Reckoning Comes. And at this point, just a few months back before I read When the Reckoning Comes, I would never read this book. but it made a way for me to understand that it is not necessarily scary. I do not, I will always say, I don't like scary stuff. I don't like blood and guts. But what I come to realize is that it's not actually scary. So I am really looking forward to this one. It sounds super interesting. It comes out on May 13th, and I cannot wait. And then we have uh, Ex- Esperance. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I think it's Esperance. It's by Adam Oyebanji. And it says Detective Ethan Kroll is on the 20th floor of a Chicago apartment building. A father and son have been found dead, their lungs full of seawater, hundreds of miles away from the ocean. Obedemi Iniola, and forgive me for butchering these names, has arrived in Bristol, England. She claims to be Nigerian, but her accent is wrong, and she can do remarkable things with technology, things that her new friend Holly Rogers has never seen before. Abby is in possession of a number of heirlooms that need to be returned to their rightful owners, and Holly is more than happy to go along for the ride. But neither Abidemi Eniola nor her heirlooms are quite what they seem. Abby is a target of Ethan Kroll's investigation, and Holly's life is about to become far stranger than she bargained for. In a clash of cultures, histories, and different ideas about justice, the consequences will be deadly. This sounds interesting. It kind of makes me think of Black Panther and the those crystals or whatever, just because the technology that they're talking about in this, and I'm curious to see what's happening here. I hope she didn't kill these people, but I mean, who cares what Holly thinks? I mean, like, who is Holly? Did she invent technology? Anyway, I don't know. But it comes out on May 20th, and this one has definitely piqued my interest, that I can say. And then we have number 7, The Blackbirds of St. Giles by Lila Cain. So this one is set in Jamaica and also in London. And I normally don't read books outside of the United States. And it's for two reasons. One is because if I am listening to the book, I find it difficult to understand some accents, and it just makes it more difficult to read the book. The other reason is because if if the person is not detailed enough for me to be able to picture what's happening, then I can't really get into the book. And I find that happening because the accent works against me trying to picture what's happening, because I have to listen more intently. I have to reread, and I mean, I want to enjoy the book. I'm not, it's not a school project. I want to enjoy the book, but this one has definitely got my interest, and I hope it all works out. So it says, on a terrifying night in 1768, Daniel and his young sister Pearl narrowly escapes their brutal life of slavery when a Jamaican sugarcane plantation is torched in a violent uprising. In the ashes, Daniel leaves behind the rest of his family and one powerful love. More than a decade later in New York City, Daniel anticipates sailing with Pearl, now 15, to a new life promised by Britain's king to former slaves who fought for the crown in American War of Independence. For saving the major's life in battle, Daniel is doubly rewarded with the man's inheritance to be claimed on the other side of the ocean. But the king's promises can be forgotten, and fortunes can be snatched away by cruel prejudices and strangers in a new land. Hopeless and homeless, Daniel and Pearl are lured into a dank maze of passageways rolling beneath London's teeming streets, under the famed convent garden, and far below the crypts of St. Giles Church. a world of unimaginable poverty, while the desperate lives as outcasts, the blackbirds of St. Giles. Reigning over the scene is Ellis, a ruthless, violent boss who sells protection for a price. To shield Pearl, Daniel must literally fight for their survival, stepping into the ring with a monstrous opponent. This sounds really, really good to me. I'm super interested. Been looking at this book since November, December of last year, and I cannot wait. I just hope it all works out as far as the accent is concerned and how they describe where they are, that I am able to receive it. So that is the 7 books. I told you they may have promising new releases. I am definitely looking forward to the Blackbirds of St. Giles. I am looking forward to Esperance. Like my interest is peaked with Esperance. So we'll see about that one. Um the Devil Three Times, yes, ma'am. I am definitely waiting for that one. And The Garden Wedding, yes, yes. And what else? Let's see. Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. And The Dark Maestro. And not so much for uh Andre and Bash. So, excuse me, that is a 5 or 6 out of 7 that I'm really looking forward to 5 of them. Another one has piqued my interest. The other one, not so much. And I just kind of figure out of, let's just say 5, I anticipate I anticipate at least 1 5-star, maybe 2. I don't think 2 is asking for too much. What you think? Let me know if you guys are going to read any of these books. I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, see you soon.